Hello everyone, how are you all doing? It's Nerfarius here, and today we are going to be going over the 5 main reasons to be hyped for Final Fantasy XIV 6.1, the upcoming patch with new content, tons of new content really, that I couldn't even just make it 5. There's actually a few other things we will also be talking about, but just going over a little bit and not as in great of detail. So anyways, without further ado, let's get into these 5 reasons to be hyped for 6.1.
This is Thancred.
Now, I think a big thing going into 6.1 that's captured a lot of people's interest is the new PvP mode. Now, of course, with Final Fantasy XIV, we've had PvP for a while now, but it's a feature that isn't really touched upon that much by most players, because it is something that's not that easy to get into or really understand. But with this new PvP mode, Crystal Conflict, it actually seems like it's going to be more newcomer friendly and will potentially get a lot more people to actually play. And as someone who isn't much of a PvP guy myself, it does seem really interesting. I played a little bit of FF14's PvP, but I haven't done that much, and in terms of fun factor, Crystal Conflict just seems much more fun to me than the current system we have in the game. It's based around 5v5 small scale content, which will make the matches a lot shorter with simpler rules to allow for players to just play casually if they really want to, or of course, even if it's very casual, there will still be people who go hardcore into it and get really goddamn good. There are no role-based matchmaking, so you don't need to be a specific role to play the mode, and you can just be whatever job you really want to, instead of having a system where it kind of discourages healers to really get into it because it's, not that newcomer friendly for it. But here, it's a lot better, and it allows for more just playing how you want to and not feeling forced like you have to do something. And plus, it'll make it to where matchmaking is a lot quicker as well, because of course, there are less healers who play the game than there are DPS. The main objective is to take possession of the crystal in the middle of the arena. You go from one side to the center and you try to get the crystal. It's sort of like, from what it seems at least, like the main mode in Overwatch, where you're basically taking the payload back to your base. We also saw a few screenshots of the different locations and arenas that we will be able to play in, and they all look really nice and varied, and I'm really excited to take part in Crystal Conflict and finally start getting some PvP rewards with this new reward system and with this new PvP mode that just seems like a lot of fun. And not only does it seem fun, but it also seems worth actually doing, because you'll be rewarded with titles, achievements, and other things like that, as well as the different PvP reward system that they're overhauling here, where there will be different series within different seasons. And yeah, anyways, it seems like it'll be a really cool and nice way to earn different types of rewards for doing a different type of content in the game rather than your typical PvE thing. And so I do think Crystal Conflict will probably revitalize the PvP in 14, and so I think that's really exciting in and of itself.
I am not interested, little son.
Now, this might not necessarily be as big of a reason to be hyped for 6.1, but I'm really excited for the Tataru's Grand Endeavor side quests, as well as the somehow more Hildibrand adventures side stories that are going to be started with 6.1 and will be going forward within 6.x. The Hildibrand storylines have always been really fun, and just a side story in FF14 that's just not taken seriously and is something that just is fun. It's just something you do and you enjoy because it's hilarious, and Hildibrand as a character is great, and the different types of shenanigans he gets up to is always really entertaining. And if you haven't done those quests, definitely do those now, because they are really great, and being able to go into more of those and continue that storyline with 6.1 is going to be really great, as well as onwards into the later patches too. And seeing a new side story go forward with a 6.x series with Tataru's Grand Endeavor is also really awesome to see. Getting more of Tataru is always great, and she's one of the best and most underrated Sylens in my opinion, so being able to see what she's going to be up to throughout 6.x is going to be really awesome. And hopefully Tataru ends up making us that outfit on the Newfound Adventures artwork for 6.1. That would be really cool. I love that outfit. It looks really nice. So yeah, that would be really awesome.
Yes,
Now, depending on the type of player you are in FF14, this next one will either be really great or just kind of not really care about it, and that is the Ishgard Imperium housing that they're going to be adding, along with the new system for actually getting houses, which is the lottery system, of course. And, you know, depending on what kind of player you are, you may or may not care about this, but I think this is really cool. I don't currently own a house in game, as most players don't, but maybe with this lottery system, we'll finally be able to get something. Who knows? It's at least a little bit more fair than the current system, so I think that's really good, and hopefully most of the houses that you can get in the game have this system tied to it. I don't know the specifics of it, but I'm pretty sure not every single house will have the lottery system in place, and it'll only be certain districts, I believe, but I could be wrong on that, and correct me if I am in the comment section below. But the Ishgard Imperium housing looks really cool, and everyone loves Ishgard. Heavensward was a great expansion, and being able to actually have housing there is really cool, and I think a lot of players, especially players who really like glamour and really like spicing up their house and making it look nice, will definitely want a piece of Ishgard housing. And I think for new players or players who just don't have a house yet, like myself, will want to attempt the lottery for this, because it just would be really cool to finally get something to place your stuff in rather than just some broom in your FC house. So I think this is something a lot of players will really enjoy, but again, it's not for everyone. Some players just won't care. It's not something that everyone's going to be going for because, again, not everyone can get a house in the game, so for a lot of people it will be a waste of effort, probably myself included, so hey, fingers crossed on that one.
Something special for you.
And this one is big for, well, any player, really. It's the hard content of the game, as well as the catch-up content of the game, too. We're getting a new Unreal trial, which is really exciting, as well as a new Alliance Raid series is going to be started in 6.1, and both of these I'm really excited for. I can't say I'm actually going to attempt Dragon Song's Reprise, which is the new Unreal trial, because, well, I've never done an Unreal trial myself personally, and I just don't know if I really have that capability to do that. But hey, maybe I do. Maybe somewhere deep inside me I'm able to pull something like that out, but I don't know about that. The Mists of the Realm, though, is the new Alliance raid, and I'm really excited for that personally. Just as a story-focused player in the game, I think this is going to be really interesting to see the lore and what's actually going to be happening with the story. FF14 always does their Alliance raids really well, and especially with the Crystal Tower back in 2.x, I think that was really good, and here it looks like this will be diving into really important lore beats just like that one did. So I'm really excited for these Alliance raids, and the Unreal trial looks really cool too. However, yeah, personally, I probably won't be attempting this, at least not when it first drops, maybe eventually somewhere down the 6.x line. But hey, for a lot of hardcore people, that's going to be really awesome to play through, and I'm excited to watch you guys play through it. So yeah.
My strength is yours. Focus. Release.
And last but certainly not least, at least in my opinion, is the beginning of a Newfound Adventure, the name of the patch itself. New MSQ is always exciting, and for me, someone who primarily focuses on the story of FF14, or at least latches onto it more than certain other pieces of content, I'm really excited to see where we go as we're beginning to just go back to our roots as an adventurer, as we were when we first started A Realm Reborn. The story has been ramping up and up for a while now, and so going back to our roots, doing something that's more basic and simple seems like it will be a really nice cleanser going into whatever the next expansion will end up being, and starting this next 10 years of storyline content. And overall, I'm just really excited to see where all the Scions are, what they're doing, and everything like that. I'm especially excited to see Graha, see what he's up to, and hopefully we get a lot more of him going forward too, as well as plenty of the other Scions. Overall, I'm really excited for the story, and that's definitely my most excited part for 6.1. But hey, before we go, even though that was the top 5 reasons, at least in my opinion, there are a few other things I want to mention as major aspects that are coming in 6.1, or at least in 6.1x, and these would be new Vera and Hrothgar hairstyles. As a male Vera player myself, I'm really excited for the former of that, of course, and for Hrothgar, it's really good to see them getting some love. We're also going to be seeing Trust capability with A Realm Reborn MSQ dungeons. This is really great, especially for new players who just want to play the game and not have to worry about finding a match with players and then having to, you know, learn the dungeon with other players too. So I think this will be really good for players who maybe aren't so used to MMOs and just want to try the game out. So this is really great to see, and I'm really excited for more of these trust capabilities coming to the other MSQ dungeons going forward in the next expansions. We're also going to be seeing custom deliveries with Emilion's Levier, and that's going to be really cool. I just know a lot of players are going to be putting her in some random ass outfits, but hey, that's just what it's gonna be. That's just what it is. But we'll also be seeing new B-Stripe quests with the Arc of Sidara, so that's going to be really cool in 6.15. And with 6.18, we are seeing data center travel, which is huge. I don't know if I'll necessarily be using it myself, but it'll definitely be something that will help a lot of people out with playing with other people that, you know, but you don't necessarily live close to, of course. And the last thing I want to mention here is the Unending Codex, which will hopefully be really good for returning players or even new players as well, who just want to learn more about the universe or remember certain characters and key story beats that happened in the past. So I think this is just a really good thing, especially going forward when we've had 10 years of story content and we're going to be getting 10 more years of that. So yeah, guys, that has been my 5 or really 11 reasons to be hyped for 6.1 video. Let me know if you enjoyed this video or not. Of course, like down below if you did. Let me know what I could have improved with this video too. This is my first actual video on this channel, and I'm really excited to get started with making FF14 videos and stuff like that. I'm just really hyped to be doing that. And of course, just let me know down in the comment section below what you're excited for most about 6.1 Newfound Adventures. Personally, that's the MSQ for me, but of course, there's a lot to be excited for and a lot going on with the patch itself. So anyways, my name's been Nefarious, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!